All right, we are live. Excuse me, back for another fun-filled episode. Um, I have debated this for over the last the week on whether or not I was gonna do an episode. Um, uh, and it's a lot. So first and foremost, it is mine and my wife's anniversary tomorrow. And so 11 years of marriage and gosh, I it's crazy to think that me and her have been married for going for 11 years. We've been together since 2011. Um we started dating July 17th, 2011. And we have been married for 11 years. So like, you know, I'll be honest with you guys. When people tell me that they can't, relationships are hard, they're 100% right. Relationships are hard. But when they tell me that they got a divorce or things weren't happen, they weren't working out, and whatever the case might be, I can understand that. But what I can't understand is if you married that person, you love that person, or love that person at least. Well, there's some reasons for there's some rationale for divorce that people have that I can on a humane level relate to, right? Someone cheats or whatever the case may be. So I don't want to say no reason for divorce or physical, violence, those sorts of things I can totally understand are reasonable for divorce. Well, in my opinion, I'll say that at least. But I'll be frank with you guys, right? I'll be totally frank with you. A lot of marriages end because they just, people don't get along, whether, one person, their views are not being, ideas are not being reciprocated, and I say ideas, what I mean by this is the wife or the husband is not talking, they're not talking to each other, they just become roommates. And that happens in a lot of relationships where people just become roommates. Because the kids and whatever you have going on in your life, you're just two people living in the same home. And after a while, when it's just you and your significant other, and it's time, to really to get back on the same wavelength, you don't know how to. You're completely removed from who this person is, and you don't even know who they are anymore, because you're like, I see you every day, but we don't really talk anymore like that. So, I'm not. It, it is. I understand, and I want to preface that I understand, but I also want to say that I um, while me and my wife we've had some of our own challenges. This is we're stuck. We're stuck together for the rest of our lives, and I don't say that in a derogatory way, and I say that in a way of meaning like, nah, like we may be stuck together with each other for the rest of our lives. So we got to figure it out. We got to figure out what that looks like. We made a covenant in front of God that we were going to become one, and that for better or for worse. And so that means something for us, and if you're a believer like it, such as myself, marriage is one of those things that's sacred. You don't violate that, and you don't do things that will end your marriage, because that is two people coming together under God, agreeing to having totally different backgrounds for the most part, and agreeing, saying, hey, we're going to start our own thing and make our own family. So yeah, it's amazing. It's a crazy thing about, we do have 3 kids, and because we live in Texas and not necessarily near family, our anniversary will be spent doing something that the kids will more enjoy doing rather than what we enjoy doing. But we make time for each other. We are adults here, guys. We have adult time, so we have our adult time, and we'll have our adult time, and yeah, and that's not the only aspect of what our anniversary will be, but it will be. I mean, we watch movies, we watch shows. I like Survivor. Anyway, I'm ranting, so I'm not going to do that anymore. But I before I get too deep into that on that side of what that is, I want to. There's something I want to point out. There's something I want to go over because I'm seeing too much or so much hate and on social media that I wanted to do this video. So I'm going to say this. I wanted to do this video. I wanted to do a video talking about Charlie Kirk. Because not because I want, the Mediocre Dads channel to blow up, because, I'm using his name, all these things. That's not what I wanted, why I want to do it. I want to do it because I think it's important. I think it's important that we talk about these things the way he did. And I will, I am going to come out and say this aspect of it. So, I am not a person that wants to become a political icon, if you will, or a person who wants to be known. Their repertoire, if you will, their videos are for talking politics and talking political issues and all these things. While we talk culture here, I don't like to get in the realms of politics because it's very divisive, and people have their opinions and whatever the case might be. So I always try to keep everything. I always want to keep everything, not lighthearted, but I want to keep everything to the truth and what the Bible says. So for me, I will be very honest in this very point because I think it's important. And I love that Charlie Kirk, he was never afraid to say what he believed, and that is that I am a conservative that votes Republican. I voted for Donald Trump in both 2020 and in 2024. And I don't tell you those things to spit in your face, to brag, to say, haha. I tell you those things because, for the longest time I have, kept that side of my life out of this, what the scope of Mediocre Dads is. But, when a figure like Charlie Kirk, when you go after someone like that, who you guys have no idea like how inspirational, influential he is, on my life, and here's why. I turned 31 in November. Charlie Kirk was born October 14th of 93. I was born November 12th of 94. So roughly about a year apart, right? Look at what he accomplished in his life by 31. And so when I see when someone is willing to do that, to assassinate him and take him out at 31 years old, you're doing something right. And forget forget his politics for a second. Forget, him being a big inspiration for conservatives, for the conservative voice. What's bigger than all of that and bigger than all of this, all of those things, is his belief in God. And that for me will always trump everything else. It will always, and no pun intended, but it will always trump this oh, are you a liberal? Are you a Democrat? Are you a Republican? Are you conservative? Are you this? Are you that? Are you that? No, my belief, I'm a Christian. I'm a believer in Christ. I believe that the Lord Jesus Christ died on the cross for my sins, and not only my sins, but for your sins. I believe all of those things to be true. I believe that he was resurrected on the third day. I believe that he's seated at the right hand of the Father. I believe all of those things to be true. And those things go above everything else when it comes to politics. But at this point in time, when, on Thursday, when we and James did our episode, I can tell you guys, I was very upset. Wednesday and Thursday, I'm very upset, because I'm frustrated of just this, that we hate each other because of what our political views. And I'll tell you straight up, guys, it's the media's fault, 100% the media's fault. And I don't want everyone to be divisive in this. But that being said, I did want to show a video that I think that I wanted to pull from here, and I'm sure most of you have seen it. I'm not even going to lie to you. Let's see. This already has over 3 million views on it. So, and that is, you know, his wife, Erica Kirk, speaking. And I'm only going to play a little bit because I'm sure everyone has seen it already, but I wanted to play a little bit of this because I do think it's important here. Something I want to point out here that's going to flow right into our conversation. So
go Ducks. But most of all, Charlie loved his children, and he loved me with all of his heart, and I knew that. Every day I knew that. He made sure I knew that every day. Every day he would ask me, how can I serve you better? How can I be a better husband? How can I be a better father? Every day. Every day. He was such a good man. He still is a good man. He was the perfect father. He was the perfect husband. Charlie always believed that God's design for marriage and the family was absolutely amazing, and it is. It is, and it was the greatest joy of his life. And over, he would tell all these young people to come and find their future spouse, become wives and husbands and parents. And the reason why is because he wanted you all to experience what he had and still has. He wanted everyone to bring heaven into this earth through love and joy that comes from raising a family. It's beautiful. Charlie always said that if he ever ran for office, I know a lot of you asked if he ever was going to, but privately he told me if he ever did run for office that his top priority would be to revive the American family. That was his priority. One of Charlie's favorite Bible verses was Ephesians 5, verse 25. Husbands.
Experience the hit original series When Calls the Heart.
What a story!
sorry.
Love your wives as Christ loved the church and gave himself up for her. My husband laid down his life for me.
So that still, it's hard watching that, you know, because you can obviously only imagine, you know, what she's going through. You guys got to understand, like, her and I think their oldest was there they were in Utah at that that Turning Point event in Utah, the college in Utah. So they were there, you know, and so you have to, like, how brave she is to get up there, you know, a few days after her husband was killed, and then, you know, the burial of it and all these things. Like, she gets up there and she's, you know, she's upset, she's crying, but, like, that's brave and power right there to say, hey, I'm going to get up here and I'm going to talk, and I'm going to talk about my husband. I want to talk about the things he loved. Again, my prayers go out to her and her kids. You can't, as dads, we're not replaceable. Moms either, you're not replaceable. So when your kids, when your significant other loses you, everything in their life changes. And, like, you can't, you know, like, I mean, like, you bring something to the table that you may think you don't, but you do. You are the glue that brings everything together and compresses everything together. You know, and for her husband to be assassinated like that, be taken out like that, you know, I'll say this: that dude's a coward. I don't care what you think of me. I'll tell you right now. I think he's a coward. You know, conversation, the use of your voice, the use of your words is powerful. And you know, he did that. But I'm going to get back on point here, because I don't want this video to be about just to turn into another one of those videos on YouTube where it's just more people talking about Charlie Kirk and talking about what happened there, because that's not the part I want you to remember of him. The part I want you to remember of him is what she said, and how she was talking about how Charlie Kirk loved his wife, he loved his kids, and his biggest thing was the family. Ephesians 5, husbands, love your wife as Christ loved the church. And understand, it goes on to describe how Christ loved the church, that he was willing to give his life for the church. Gosh, I'm sorry you can hear that. My kids leave things in here, and I just, let me pull this. I'm going to have this up over here. Where'd it go? Sorry, guys. I'm trying to pull it up here. It's not coming. Okay. I clearly skipped over it. There it goes. Sorry. All right. Forgive me. I found it. And so it's going to be here we go, verse 25. It's chapter 5, verse 25. Husbands, love your wives as Christ loved the church and gave himself up for her, that he might sanctify her, having cleansed her by the washing of the water with the word, so that he might be present to the church to himself in splendor, without spot or wrinkle or any such thing, that she might be holy and without blemish. You know, this is essential here. And that is what she's talking about. You know, what it means to be a husband. You know, a father. Their marriage was everything, and you could tell, in like when her words, you can tell Charlie prioritized their marriage. And husbands, I want you to take a piece of advice from, not from me, because she's the one who said it, but I want you to take it from her, from Erica. Ask your wives every day, how can I better serve you? How can I be a better husband? How can I be a better father? He was a busy man, a very busy person. And yet he still made time to say, hey, my being, the why for me is them, is my family. There is a part here, I would have to find it, but I couldn't find, I didn't want to kind of necessarily pin through it, but where she talks about, she came home, and their little one, Gigi, the mom ran up to mom and said, Mom, I miss you. Where's Dad? And she says, what do you tell a 3-year-old? What do you tell a 3-year-old? Their dad isn't coming back. And she said that she told Gigi, their youngest, that Charlie is on a mission with Jesus. And you know, I know he's up in heaven. I tell this to people all the time. I'm 100% confident that man is in heaven. And here's why I say that, because you will know them by their fruit. This is what the Bible talks about. You will know them by the fruit. And he's talking about the fruit of the Spirit. And Charlie, when people saw him, he put on display continuously the fruit of the Spirit. And so that is what it is we are called to live by, the fruit of the Spirit. We are supposed to live by that way. And Charlie embodied that. I believe he did. I saw it. You know, as a believer, I can see the genuine love and compassion that he had for people. And this is, we're talking Galatians 5 here. I can actually find it here. Yeah, the fruit of the Spirit here, it starts at 16 is where you really want to start, but I'm actually going to get to, it says, but the fruit of the Spirit is love, joy, peace, patience, kindness, goodness, faithfulness, gentleness, self-control. Against such things there's no law. And those who belong to Christ Jesus have crucified the flesh with its passions and desires. If we live by the Spirit, let us also keep in step with the Spirit. Let us not become conceited, provoking one another, envying one another. This is, again, the fruit of the Spirit that I just named in Galatians 5. These are the fruits in which I witnessed that Charlie lived by. And so when you see a Christian, when you come across a believer, when someone who claims to be a believer, that is what they are supposed to represent and embody, and that is what you're supposed to be able to see in them and say something's different about you. I want to live a life like you, and so as husbands, for me, going back to me, I've been married going on 11 years tomorrow. And it has been an honor to be married to my wife. She's everything to me. When it's all said and done, when all of this is said and done, guys, my kids go off to the world and they become members of the society and do what they're going to do, it's going to be me and her. And I'm going to tell y'all, I'm going to spoil her. I try to spoil them now, all of my family, but in particular, I'm going to spoil her. Understand, guys, come November, I will have been in the Army for 12 years. And she has been with me every single step of the way. When I asked my wife to marry me, she was at the tail end of her high school, so she was walking around the last couple months with an engagement ring on her finger, like, who are you? You're marrying who? And me and my brother, we were identical twins, so everybody already knew who we were at that school, especially because we graduated the year prior. And we weren't like overly popular, but I mean, I think we would say we a lot of people who knew who we were. And so, just kind of amazed by that. And a lot of people, I can tell you, a lot of people say like, oh, it's not going to work. They're going to fail, blase. 11 years. 11 years. Listen, y'all. This is what I believe when she even said it, when Charlie was talking about telling young people, I want you to experience the joy and the love that I experience every single day. When your kids see you and they get this smile on your face, when your wife sees you, says, hey, how's your day? How was your day at work? Giving you a hug, giving you a kiss. Your kids are like running after you, like, Dad's home, and super excited. That is the joy that he was talking about. And I am grateful every single day I get to experience that. That is the amazing part of being married. I've learned a lot over the years. I've learned a lot. One of the things that I have learned is how I love my wife versus how I want to be loved. So what do I mean by that? What I mean by that is, you've heard of the love languages and all those things, right? But what I mean by that is, I want to love my wife how she wants to receive love, right? Quan has his own way of how he wants to receive love, but Aubrey has her way, right? And one of those ways is words of affirmation, letting her know that, hey, you're beautiful today, letting her know like, hey, I like what you're wearing. Oh, hey, let's words of affirmation, but also I think it's physical touch. Like, so she likes being hugged. I'm not a hugger, guys. I'm not a hugger. I'm not a person that likes to be touched continuously. Like, it does irritate me. But like for her, I know like she loves being hugged. She loves to cuddle. I like these things I'm telling you that she enjoys doing. I don't necessarily enjoy doing them myself, but I know my wife enjoys it. I know this gives her the feeling that, okay, I am loved by my husband. So I do those things for her. I do those things for her because that is what it means to serve your wife. And so that I'll tell you guys, that is one of those things for me that took some time to learn, because I was selfish. I think all young people are selfish, but I won't give myself a scapegoat here, but I was selfish. And I would do by doing those selfish things, I would expect her to love me how I wanted to, or love her how I wanted to be loved, that's not how it works. It's not how it works at all. So, I had to, a lot had to change. Sorry, I'm looking for something here. But that being said, I want to share something, that I think it's a beautiful thing. Hold on. Oh, it's not doing the thing. It hadn't done the thing yet. Okay. There is this. My kids did something. I'm gonna let this load real quick. But and then we'll do that. But 11 years has gone by, and it's like that. Like I'm telling you guys, I remember when we first got married, and I was like, gosh, okay, those people who've been married for 20 plus years. I'm like, gosh, how do they do that? I even thought, like, when someone's like, yeah, I've been married for 10 years. I'm like, gosh, 10 years of your life. I guess I didn't really know, but it's funny is I'm at 11, and every year it goes by, and it's just time flies, especially when you have kids. Time flies, and then you're like, oh crap, we've been married for 11 years. We're good, right? We still love each other. Yeah, we still love each other. And again, I know me and my wife love each other. I know it. I know we do. It's amazing. I wouldn't be here without her, guys. I wouldn't have this. You wouldn't have this without her. Aubrey is one of the sole reasons behind all of this. The videos, the how you see me, the camera in front of me that records me, the computer that I'm sitting in front of me that allows me to do all these things and navigate this different way. Like, understand, my wife was the first cheerleader for me. She was, when husbands, this, when you have an idea, you have this grand idea, you're like, I have this idea I want to do. And it sounds so absurd to your wife. Like, I don't know. Like, I don't know about all that. And you're like, listen, here's what I'm thinking. Right. And for your wife to be like, you know what? I may not see what he sees and what he's envisioning here, but I can see he's passionate about it, and I want him to be happy in that. So I'm gonna let him do. We're gonna see. We're gonna go with the flow, and I'm gonna be a part of it as much as he wants me to, and that's what she's done. You see the wall behind me, you see the lights behind me, guys. Like, I have some form of an imagination, but mostly all of this is Aubrey. This is Aubrey's doing. The reason for all of these things, this is Aubrey. Like, I can't take credit for this. This is Aubrey. Like, it's her, even with the kids sitting around or sitting in front of us as we're doing it. I know you can't see the entire office, sitting there and watching us and saying, okay, I'm like, hey, what about this? Should I do this way? She's like, no, that kind of looks dumb, or this looks tacky, whatever. And like, that's Aubrey. And so I can't, and like, forget all the things right here, but like, she's the mother of my children. She gave me the greatest blessing that a man could ask for. She gave me kids, not only one, not two, three kids. Kids are a blessing, guys. And I'll be honest with you, I would be down to have 4, but she's the one who has to let them out. So, I'm putting it out there in the air, but she says we're done for now. I say for now, she says we're done. We'll see, God willing, but she's given me 3 beautiful kids, and I love them so much. 3 beautiful kids. I can't, like, this. I just tell you guys, like, it's a feeling of just complete joy, because I know, I try to think of myself like, okay, who would I have been if I had married or met someone different? And I can't give you that. I can't tell you what that is, because honestly, I met the perfect person. When I was in high school, or I was in middle school and going into high school, I thought to myself myself several times, and I was in and out of my faith as a teenager at this point, because I didn't understand God and I didn't know how to understand Him better. But anyway, I was going to church on, youth on Wednesdays, and then church on Sundays. But I remember those times when I was like, hey, I want to pray. I want to get better at praying. I would tell the Lord, like, hey, I want to be married. I want to have a family. That's what I wanted. That's like, I know, like, usually at like 16, 17, you're thinking about the thing that, creates a family. You're not thinking about necessarily having the actual family, but, I wanted a family. So I would pray to God. I said, Lord, I feel the Spirit's putting on me that someone that I already know is going to be my wife. Right. And so someone here in this place that I'm, where I live, it's called, at the time, and, where I grew up, I wholeheartedly believed that someone there was going to be my wife, and we were going to be who was going to make my family. They were going to take on the Wilcox last name, and they were going to be my wife. And sure enough, guys, it was Aubrey. And after a while, shortly, it was, when you look back at things, you're like, okay, like I can see how that would have, it was, you from the outside looking, you're like, oh yeah, you guys were gonna get married. But it was, I remember one of the first of family events I showed up to was with my friend Justice. And we go to her Sweet 16. Her dad rented this yellow Camaro. It was when, what was that movie? Transformers had just came out. So, the yellow Camaro was really big because Bumblebee and all that and all that. So she wanted a Camaro to drive, and, for her Sweet 16, drive up to the Sweet 16. They had a little birthday. Her whole family was there. And I remember we weren't dating, or we weren't boyfriend and girlfriend, but we were, the pre-stages of dating, basically, right? We had gone on dates, and then we spent time together. And I remember going to her party, and, it was supposed to be formal. So I wear what, any formal high school kid looks like, a dress up shirt with a bow tie. And I met everyone in her family that night. And let me tell you, I didn't remember a single one of their names when I left. I was like, why did I meet all those people? I'm like, I was like, we're like not even like, we're not even dating yet. I'm meeting her entire family. When I say her entire family, I'm talking aunts, cousins, uncles, the grandparents. Like I met everybody, and I'm like, and they're like, oh yeah, this is Quan. This is Aubrey's friend, and everybody knew. They, when your parents embarrass you, they're like, oh, friend, right? I even remember we had kissed, but we weren't dating, and she had basically turned me down. Like, so her freshman year, my sophomore year, I kissed her after a homecoming game. And then that following week at school, I tried to like make her my girlfriend, and she was like, nah, I'm good. Yeah, my wife turned me down the first time. But then, I remember, I would think it was that Christmas, or it was that year in December, my family decided to go up to Flagstaff, Arizona for the snow to do snowball things or whatever. And sure enough, there's this fire pit out there, and we come up there, and who's there? Aubrey and her parents. And this is how our parents, so our parents had kind of met before because we went to the same church, but formally, that's how our parents met. And in Flagstaff, Arizona, cold, at a fire pit, and they're talking, and me and her are kind of looking at each other like, oh my gosh, our parents are talking to each other right now. What's going on? And so like that's how our parents met. And so fast forward, obviously we're dating, and I remember telling my parents, they're like, "Oh, who are you dating, Aubrey?" And I'm like, "Yeah, you remember them parents at Flagstaff?" And I'm like, "I think, yeah, they're like the couple at the," I was like, "Yeah." They're like, "Oh, her, she's so pretty," and she started coming over more, and whatever. The rest is history. But yeah, that is how our parents met. Gosh, that was some time ago. Oh man, some time ago. But it's crazy to think about, how much we've grown. Like we were babies when we first got married. Oh my gosh, babies, guys. And now, I'm not saying we're old, but I would never call her old, but I am old. I will tell you, I am old. So I wanted to show you this video, and I'm going to show it to you. Let me just give me a second. I'm sorry. I want to show you this because why this video is for mediocre dads. I want y'all to understand this video is for my wife. She doesn't know I did any of this. So she thinks like, oh, you're just like, you want to go record, blase, blase. And I'm like, yeah, I want to go record. And not knowing that, hold on. Can you, come on, do the thing that I want you to do. Hold on, we're going to do this. Yeah. Okay, I want to, okay, this is how you're going to get it. And it's not doing it the way I want it to. What if I do this? I'm not going to edit it. What I am going to do, though, is this. So you guys can see it. Okay, ignore that.
Hey, Mom. At Student's house, I made this for you. It says, I love you, Mom. And I glued on a heart right there. It says, and it has a M and N.
She's looking at my computer and not at the camera, so that's why.
And I used pink and purple because those are two of your favorite colors, and blue because that's also the only other paper I had. And I love you so much. And please don't go on that trip. I want Eli. My darkest secret is that I actually do like his screaming. And boy.
She's trying to press end. Okay, so real quick. She says her darkest secret. What she's talking about is so Eli has found his voice, and so he does a lot of this, a lot of screaming, and yelling, and but baby screams, which it's adorable. I'm not gonna lie to you. I mean, it's like the cutest thing ever, but it is funny to hear him do it. So, but anyway, she made that video, and so, it was so adorable because she wanted to do it. She wanted to do one herself, and so I was like, yeah, okay, you can do it yourself. And where's the one? Hold on. No, I need to take one. Okay, here we go. All right, guys. Sorry. I didn't actually export these, so I can't get them full screen like I want them to. But it's okay. It's okay. We are going to do with what we got. So I'm going to go back here because I do have one more I want to show you guys here.
Hey, Mom. We love you. Happy anniversary. Ooh, look at you.
I'm going. Not you. You go not.
What do you gotta say? Say happy anniversary, Mom. Say happy anniversary, Mom.
Happy birthday, Mom.
Happy anniversary.
Happy birthday, Mom.
Say we love you.
We love you.
We love you.
What's your favorite thing about Mom?
She makes us food. And she did those bumps and hearts on my wall.
What's your favorite thing about Mom, Ethan?
2.
What's your favorite thing about Mom?
She said 2.
Do you like when Mom puts you to bed?
Do you like when Mom cooks dinner?
Oh, look. Mom needs to do my hair. No.
You like when Mom does your hair?
Yeah, and I need to get Mom
This
in
is
my
so
hair.
fun.
I'll go be right back.
Okay, so that's my middle child. Let me tell y'all, you can tell from the video she's got full of personality. And I'm gonna actually edit, get those are fully taken care of later. But she's full of personality, and I love it. But those are only two. That's only two of the the blessings that she's given me. I'm not good with surprises, guys. So I was mowing the lawn today, and I was thinking, what can I give her that from my skills, my repertoire, that I will demonstrate her that I love her. And this is what I came up with. So listen, being married is amazing. Having a family is amazing. It's a blessing. I would tell people all the time, and they had there was a lot of people who had a hard time understanding this when I say this, but I put my uniform on every single day because of them, for them. That's why I did that. When I first joined, it was because of 9/11. It was because I will never forget how angry and upset my mom was, but angry my dad was. He was yelling at the TV. Because my dad's a pilot, and he loves this country so much, and so to see that happening, to see that taking place, he was angry, and understandably so. But I remember that, and when I got older, because I remember 9/11 and I remember that aspect of it. I remember seeing the people jump from the building. I remember the towers falling. But not understanding, really having understanding why all this was happening until I got older, and when it was time to figure out what was going to happen next for Quan, right? And I was joining the military, and I was like, I'm going to, decide to join the military. 1, because my dad wanted me to, but 2, because of 9/11. I was like, yeah, I want to serve. I want to serve my country, and I want to serve because it means something. And then when I went to Afghanistan in 2016, and came back in 2017, I didn't know. I guess I didn't really understand. I didn't know until that point, until I come back, that what it really meant to serve and what it really meant to go somewhere and then come back and no longer be the same person you were. But anyway, I say that because, when I was a kid, seeing people jump out of a building, not understanding why they were jumping out of a building, but understanding that they were gonna die, but not understanding why they were doing that. To now, where I'm like, that's what that enemy made our. Yes, that's why I was willing to join and willing to go over there and defend and fight for my country. So, anyway, that's a whole other slew of things for another episode. But My Aubrey was with me through that. Aubrey was with me when I went to Afghanistan. We had to keep in mind, y'all, we got married September 14th, 2014. I deployed May 21st of 2016. So we had not been married for all too long. I had already been gone doing field things, going to NTC for National Training Center in California for, I guess that was like 20 days. It was almost 30. It was just shy of 30 days. It was like 25 days or something, right? In total that I was there. So before I deployed in February. And so, we had not been married all too long. And so then I deploy and I'm, in a whole other country for 9 months. And I come back on Valentine's Day, February 14th, 2017. I come back. These are just, and you talk to anybody in the military, there's dates that they'll never forget. And these are dates I'll never forget. Come back and, she's there. And it's just me and her. And she got a dog. She got another dog. Like a month before I came back home, a whole nother story, but still. And I would never forget just to me, like, I'm so happy to see this person. I'm so happy to be back in the States. I'm so happy to see this person. I'm so happy to be back in the country and normalcy. But again, she was there through all of these things there in other moments in her life. 2018, Nevaeh's born. 2022, our life is in just chaos because of me, because of my mistakes. And in 2022, on October 19th, Eden shows up in the picture. And then March 31st of 2025, Eli is born. And our life has just been this thing, but we do it together. And that is what it is. That's what marriage is about, y'all. Let me tell you, that is it. I don't care about the accomplishments. I don't care about the awards. I don't care about the things I've done. I don't care about the places I've gone and seen, said, man, oh, you should really go to this country. It's really cool. I don't care about all those things. I've been to a lot of countries. I've been to a lot of places. I've seen a lot of things. I've done a lot of things. None of those can compare to being a husband and being a father. None of that. None of those things. None of those things mean anything. They can't compare to it. So, in conclusion here, right? Charlie Kirk embodied that. He embodied the fruits of the Spirit, what it meant to be a Christian. You will know them by their fruits. And he was a family man. And that is important. That is a big deal. I don't care of like all these things that go on in this country and go on in this world. Let me tell you guys, it's about family. Do we have to get back to having families, being families again? Because you will have an understanding that you never had before when you have a family, when you're just when you have people that love you, kids that love you. Oh my gosh, it does something different to you. Your perspective changes, your way of life changes, how you do things changes, you move changes. The things you did before, you're like, nah, I can't tell. Look, I can remember a lot of nights, a lot of times with me and Aubrey. One of the times we drove to Dallas and we had, listen, it was private first class Wilcox. All my bills paid, everything was paid essentially, gas in the car. And we're living in Killeen, Texas, which is about 3 or 4 hours from Dallas. Dallas is my favorite city in Texas. And so we go, I remember I said, hey, it's a Sunday. We don't have anything to do. And, we weren't going to church at that time. And so we were like, well, I was like, we got $8 in our account. We have a coupon for Subway. And we got we had a 3/4 of a tank of gas. And I was going to get paid then. I think it was the next day, but it was just like, what are we going to do on Sunday that day? Like we were bored on the weekend. So I was like, let's just go to Dallas. So we finally made the decision to go to Dallas. We drive to Dallas. We stop on the way to Subway. On the way there, get Subway with their coupons. It was like buy one, get one free, a foot long free or whatever. Got some chips. $4 in our account at this point. Drive up there, spend about a few hours in Dallas, drive back down home. And that was one of the funnest days we had. being married because we didn't have money in our account, but we had fun. We got to spend time with each other. Now, moments like that, I remember moments like that, but there's a lot of moments I don't remember from what I would do in my spare time when we were first married without kids. Now, my memories are full of memories with my kids doing crazy things. Things like that I just showed you. Listen, guys, family's big. I love it. And this is been my entire message for Mediocre Dads is family. And you can't, we're not meant to do this life alone. We're really not. We are not meant to do this life alone. So my encouragement for you guys, same that Charlie did, same that Erica would vocalize when she was speaking. My encouragement, my words to you is find someone to take on this world with and make create a family, have kids, make memories, make lasting memories. Your lives will be different. And all this other BS that people tell you to care about, you won't care about because you're like, I don't have the time or the luxury to care about, Joe Biden this, Donald Trump that, this person said that. You don't have time for these things. The big beautiful bill is going to destroy everything. You don't have time for those things. You're like, man, listen, I see some stuff on the news, cool, but like I don't have the luxury of time for that. Like I want to spend time with my family and my kids. But the things you will start to care about is school, and you're like, hey, am I going to put my kids in school? My kids are homeschooled. I'm a full advocate for homeschool. My kids are homeschooled, and all of them will be homeschooled. And I think that's, there's a lot of different reasons why I do that. But one of the main reasons being is the school system is flawed. But then also, too many things are going on at schools that if I showed up to a school because I need to go in and get my kids, I'm going in there to go get my kids and trust and believe. Anyway. I digress. I'm a full-on Second Amendment person, so I have it. I am, legally, of course. I would go get my kids. So I don't even want to put them in that situation. So, anyway, I digress, guys. It's been a wonderful episode. This is meant to be a joyful episode. It really is. One, celebrating the life of Charlie Kirk, because I think that's what it's about. I think that's what he would want anyway. But then also, 11 years of marriage. That's what it's about. That is what a true partnership it looks like. That is all I got for you guys. We will catch y'all next time. We might be doing an episode of the Bible study on Monday. Not sure yet. Haven't exactly worked it out because on Thursday I will not be here. I will not be here on Thursday. So do not come to Mediocre Dad's channel unless you're going to watch another video, which I encourage you to do. But still, don't come here expecting a live video on Thursday. We won't be here on Thursday, okay? We'll not be here on Thursday to do a live video. That is all we got. I will catch y'all later, say we. Go to Mediocre Dad's net, get you guys some merchandise. Go get you some gear. Appreciate it. Catch you guys next time. Mediocre Dad's out.